Welcome, YouTube! We're at Applewood Winery, home of Naked Flock, cider and mead. So excited to try these flavors. They have wine, they have cider, they have mead. Warwick, New York, let's go! We are here with Dylan and the cider master himself, Jonathan. Thank you so much for having us, guys.
Thanks for coming. Pleasure to have you guys.
Yeah. Where should we start?
Start with some original.
So the original is the first cider that we ever made, you know. And this one is semi-sweet. We ferment this with a champagne yeast and it's flavored with a touch of wildflower honey. So you get that nice kind of big apple forward flavor to it right up front and just that touch of sweetness from the honey.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally taste that, yeah.
That's a perfect description, actually.
Yeah, as he said it, I was tasting it.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
I've tasted enough of this that I know exactly how to describe it. The draft cider is fermented using a different yeast. This is with a Belgian Trappist ale yeast.
Yep.
That really adds to that kind of bright, crisp flavor right up front too. And then this one, instead of honey, is back sweetened with a touch of maple syrup. So a little bit more of a creamy kind of sweetness at the end.
It's almost like you taste the maple syrup that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Very subtly.
Very subtly.
This is Citra.
Yeah, so this one is a dry hop cider. Yeah, Citra hops.
What did the ladies used to say? They call it IPA, but a cider and had a sweet little baby, they said.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
All right, cheers. Oh yeah. Ooh, that one's good. Yeah. Yeah, Citra hops.
The Citra has always been one of my favorite ciders we make here too.
This is the rosé.
Yeah, a really nice light kind of clear pink color to it.
That's what you do. It's got a good nose to it, too.
And this one we're doing with currants and hibiscus.
Yep.
Like black currant?
Yeah, so you're going to get a little bit of tartness off the currants, a little bit of that floral element from the hibiscus infused into there.
Wow.
Wow.
That must be.
Is this a cider? It didn't even. That's
happy
good.
juice.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know what you're going home with.
So far, I think it's my favorite too.
This is really good.
Yeah.
I tend to like sweeter stuff, but like this has got that sweet side that's really good to it, even though it is a drier cider.
Yeah. I mean, we call this one a semi-sweet overall within our portfolio. It's definitely on the sweeter side, but just compared to other rosé ciders that I've tried, I definitely think it's the driest rosé cider.
I was just gonna say that I'm typically, and I enjoy pretty much every cider out there, but I typically stay away from rosé, and not because anything against them. I'm not the biggest fan. I can still enjoy it, but the hibiscus on this, it really shines.
Yeah, it really adds that nice touch.
I love this.
Yeah.
You know.
Funny story about the descriptions. We were talking about the Citra before. Before we sold this and we called it currant cider.
Oh yeah.
And it did like okay. And we had it on tap here during apple season once. We said, let's call it rosé. And like the sales like quadrupled. So this is the mead.
Mead. Ooh.
Oh, it's right in front of me.
Okay,
invested in the
you're cut off.
conversation.
No more for you.
You almost spilled it too.
Because after this, you'll change your name of your show to Three Guys and Mead.
Yeah.
So this is my fun little baby, the mead. It's made with honey, and it's a clover honey, all New York State honey, of course. That's fermented, and mead is an interesting animal. It's something that's becoming very popular again. And I look upon it like kind of the story of cider. It was something old that people always did years ago, and then it kind of got forgotten, and now it's being brought back.
It's really good, very full of flavor, like really present, and like I love it.
Yeah, and you get that honey taste, but it's not as sweet or as syrupy as a lot of people think when you mention mead. A lot of people think like what they serve at the Renaissance Fair, that like more that would be more of a wine style mead, that like heavier, sweeter, like more syrupy, higher alcohol content honey wine. This is definitely more, like I said, a session style mead, or I even call it a cider style.
Chili cherry now.
Chili cherry.
I mean, the smell alone, the nose on it is awesome.
Well, it's made with Guajillo chilies, and what that does is it adds a lot of fruitiness to it, and just a subtle amount of heat. The Guajillo chili really is.
Yeah, it's a very subtle spice on this. What I found with this one though is the spice lingers a little bit, so the more you drink it, the spicier it's going to taste actually.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say it's very flavor forward. As soon as you put it in your mouth, you kind of like you feel it in your palate, just get the tact. You know?
Yeah, the spice especially you get on the aftertaste as it's going down, and it'll linger, so it'll kind of build up over time the more you drink of it.
So how do you guys come up with this like new flavors and stuff?
Yeah.
It's a lot of trial and error.
We got a big dartboard.
I mean, really though, yeah, I'd say it's trial and error. We've done like we do, like we mentioned, a lot of one-off things that we've done, like only in the tasting room here. And sometimes those become things that we can and we sell and we take it to our distributor. And other times they're terrible and we never make them again. That's kind of the fun of working here, though, is that with the tasting room we have that ability to take just a couple of kegs of something and just throw it on tap and see what people think.
Well,
I'm feeling good.
We're going to start with the regular coffee cider, and then we'll try the Irish coffee cider. Yeah, so this one is just straight coffee cider.
so what I do basically is I make a pot of espresso and just pour it right into the cider, and using draft as our base again.
That's what I was expecting. Is when you said espresso, it's going to be really bitter. It's going to be really strong. But no, this is very light.
Well, it's just enough to add the flavor.
The espresso is such a strong flavor that even adding just a quart for $5, nearly makes that flavor shine through, but not overpowering because it is such a small amount. Actually.
Wow, that's amazing.
This is good. Big finale.
Oh God.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Good.
No? Yeah, it's made now.
Wow. This has some color to it. That's interesting.
Yeah, and keep in mind again that the coffee cider that you just tried, that's the base for this. And then we added a little bit of vanilla flavor, cacao, caramelized honey, and lactose sugar. Wow.
Now, one of the things that the most right away on this is whenever you pour cider, you'll have a head, but it'll dissipate pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And this hangs around for a while. That's because of the lactose sugar. That's the lactose protein to it.
So interesting.
Cheers.
To maintain that head.
Cheers.
Cheers. Last one.
Last one.
Last one. Look at that. All right.
Ooh, get out of here.
It's really good, right?
That is fantastic.
So this is kind of
Oh my God.
kind of a deconstructed Bailey's cream.
Wow,
I said, okay, what are some of the flavors in Bailey's? And when I first started looking up, it's like, God, Bailey's has like 100 different flavors. So I picked out a couple. So it's got caramelized honey in it, which means we took honey and basically put it in a pot and caramelized it. And it's got a little bit of vanilla bean to it, cacao nibs, and coffee.
I almost feel like I'm drinking apple coffee. I love coffee. Like I kind of coffee.
It almost doesn't taste like a cider.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I don't know what I would say it tastes like, but it tastes like something entirely different.
This is.
It's so unique.
It tastes like heaven, is what it tastes like.
Hey.
It's really good. Oh my God. This is a class of its own, guys.
Where do you guys want to see yourself in the future with this whole brand, company, everything you're doing? Where do you want to see it go?
This year has been full of ups and downs. I'm happy to say we've done pretty good over the past year. And thank the lucky stars for that, because boy, at times during this year, business fell off a cliff. But the one thing we did find is that no matter what's going on in the world, people want to drink. So, and as long as you're making a good product, you're going to do well. So, this year we kind of really trenched a little bit, and it really made us look hard at our core basics of what makes us different, what makes us good. And I know a lot of wineries and ciders have done the same thing over the past year. And I think in a lot of ways it's been good for us, because it's really made us kind of retool how we operate and what we're doing.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the changes that we've made, we're forced to make because of the pandemic. I think we're going to stick with those, even once this is all over.
Yeah, a lot of the changes actually are kind of like, things are going along okay, don't mess with it. And then the pandemic came and we had to change everything around and we're like, we like it better this way.
Yeah.
And, so now kind of what we're focusing on right now is much more of a personalized experience here in our tap room. We're kind of doing kind of every, we'd have a festival every 5 minutes before I told people, Now we're kind of more focusing on people coming in and showing them a great experience and more personal one-on-one. And what we found that I know a lot of wineries have is that over the past year, the number of people who come in has dropped, but sales have not dropped because they've spent more time with their customers. So that's really what we're focusing on right now is just spending time with the customer, focusing on the quality of the ciders and the wines, and moving on.